Aloha guys, this is Scuba Chris coming at you from Hawaii. You all know how good these Azores spinning reels are, correct?
Look at this. We got something. We got something.
For the past year, I've been using the regular Azores. Now, the Blues from Japan are finally in for 2019.
And bring it up. Okay. And there we go. That was easy.
All right, guys, the first big change is the change in sizing. Our beloved Azores 40, I use this for a lot of spin casting, is no longer going to be 40. Under this new Blue system, this will now be the 4000. And with the 55, this is the Azores 55, it will now be the 6000. All right, guys, the two largest sizes of the Blues, there's going to be a 8,000 and a 14,000. Now, the 8,000 will be what we used to call the 65, and the 14,000 is what we used to call the 80. Now, the max drags, the 4,000 is going to start off with 28 pounds, the 6,000 go up to 29 pounds, and the two larger ones, the 8,000 and the 14,000, will have an impressive 44-pound max drag. Now the two smaller versions, this is the 4,000, 6,000, will have a 5.8 to 1 gear ratio. The two larger ones, which is going to be the 8,000 and the 14,000, will have a 5.4 to 1 to help you bring in those larger fish. Okay, starting off with the new Blue 4000 as compared to our 40, they're the same. The gear ratio is still the same, 5.8 to 1. And the bearings is still the same at 7 bearings. It's going to be 6 high performance bearings and 1 roller bearing. Line retrieve on the Blue Azores is going to be a little bit better. Line retrieve on the blue one is 35.8 inches, which means for every one turn, you're going to bring in 35.8 inches of line. The original Azores is 34.8. Max drag has not changed. It's still 28 pounds. That's pretty darn good for a reel this size. One notable difference, mono line capacity. The Blues for 8 pounds can take 300 yards. The original 270. For the Blue, for 10 pounds, 250 yards. The original 190. The Blues for 12 pounds is 210 yards. The original 170. And that's a big difference between the two. Now the anodized drag knobs are just a little bit different. On the smaller ones, it's just the way they made the design is just a little different, but on the smaller ones, they're identical. Also, you'll notice that Okuma will give you a free line band to keep your line on the reel. So when you open your box, this will be loose inside. Okay, let's go take a look at the next level up. This is the new Blue 6000. This is the original 55. Now the gear ratio is still the same, 5.8 to 1, 5.8 to 1. The ball bearings are still the same. You're going to have 7 ball bearings, which is 6 plus 1. You're going to have 6 high performance bearings and 1 roller bearing. Your max drag on both is going to be 29 pounds. Now this is where you're going to start getting a little bit different. The Blue here, your weight on the Blue is going to be 18.5 ounces. The weight of the original is 18.6, so just 0.1 ounce difference, hardly anything. Okay, again, we have difference on line capacity. This is rated for mono. On the 6000 Blue, for 12 pounds, you're gonna get 310 yards. 16 pounds, 215 yards. 20 pounds, 180 yards. On the original, for 10 pounds, you're gonna get 380 yards. For 12 pounds, you're gonna get 340 yards. And for 15 pounds, 240 yards. So there's gonna be a slight difference in line capacity between the two. So starting for 2019, the Japanese version of the Azores is now coming to America. This is the first batch that came in. Places like Tackle Direct is already taking orders, as well as Okuma itself. Now, when you look at the units here, there's going to be some slight differences. Look at the drag tops here. This one here, starting from the 6000 series and up, is going to have a slightly different drag top. Okay, the drag spool tops, the smaller size, the 4000, is going to be identical to what we have here in the States. But when you go up to the 6000 size and higher, it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to incorporate a slightly different drag top, but it's going to still be the DFD, the dual force drag system. And what that means is it's going to have an equal number of padding above the spool and below the spool to sandwich together. That's going to create a lot more power for your max drag, and it's going to make a noticeable difference when you bring that big fish in, because it's going to be very, very smooth. You know, one of the best things like about this new enlarged gearing, the gearing of this unit, the Blues, is going to be a little bit thicker than the originals. Now, what are the advantages to that? The advantages is thicker gearing means it will last longer, especially with salt water usage. And that means the teeth on the gears will last longer. Also, with the increased thickness of the gears, you're going to have a lot more torquing power to bring that fish in. With the die-cast aluminum frame, that means less chance of bowing, so less chance of the reel bowing out under pressure, meaning exploding or warping. Plus, you're gonna notice, look how thick this aluminum handle is. You're not gonna get that thing to move or flex. Now, I just hit a Monster GT the other week using the regular Azores, okay? So I know a little bit something about these reels. These reels can handle big fish. I was actually very amazed when that happened. Also, the bearings are rubber sealed and packed with grease. Okay, the new and the original Azores has a knurled spool design. Now, if you look at the spool here, you can see how it's corded here, but in the center part, it's really roughed up quite a bit. Okay, this is when you use braid. A lot of people, like me, we like to use braid because you get more line on the reel for your backing. In the old days, when you put braid on, you would first put a piece of electrical tape on or masking tape to get the braid to hold. Otherwise, when you get a big hit, the line will spin because this used to be smooth. Nowadays, a sign of a good spinning reel spool is knurled right here. So the braid will actually grip onto that and you won't get to spinning. You can come down to, meaning you can come down to your last 10 yards of line if you're on a big fish and it will not slip. Now, besides the great technology that goes into your products, because I really love Okuma. I mean, for years and years, I loved Okuma, and recently I've become a product tester and I can test the equipment, which is a lot of fun because I really believe in the company. But what is the MSRP, meaning downline, what's the price? Well, on this unit here, the 4000, it's the starting price is $129.99. That is unusually inexpensive for such a good quality reel. And this one here is the 6000. They're going to have the 8000 and the 14000. So it's going to start at $129.99, go up to $144.99. That's very, very affordable prices. You can put together a beautiful rig with a rod and reel from Okuma, and it's not going to cost you that much money. So if you already have a Okuma Azores, no problem. This is a solid reel. I mean, such a good reel. I'm still going to keep mine. I'm just going to incorporate the blues with my originals. Now, if you watch what I did about a week ago, I hit a Monster GT. The back that came out of the water was at least 5 feet. So, that, there was still part of the fish under the water. And I hooked that with the 65 Azores, and it held for 45 minutes. The only thing that finally gave out was it dove into the structure and it pulled the hook out, and that means that the fluorocarbon leader line snapped. But hey, those things happen, but I still held that for 45 minutes, and that was something. And that was on the original Azores, the 65, which will be the 8,000 size when that comes out within a week or two from now. So make your reservations, grab your blues today. I think you're gonna really like it.